Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Śrīla Prabhupāda Jai Vaiṣṇavas Paramahamsa Saraswati Śrīmad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Prabhupada ki jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai Prabhu Kho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai Shri Navadvipur Dham ki jai Ganga Mai ki jai Yamuna Mai ki jai Tulasi Devi Maharani ki jai Bhakti Devi ki jai Shri Harar Nam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastapraye Shavadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 17, Text 27. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Rudra Uvacha Dishtavati Asi Sushroni Hariradbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Brityanam Nisprihanam Mahatmanam Dishtavati Asi Sushroni Hariradbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Brityanam Nisprihanam Mahatmanam Dishtavatyasi Sushroni Hariradbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Brityanam Nisprihanam Mahatmanam Yasvati Asi Sushroni Hariradbhuta Karmana Mahatmyam Brityanam Nisprihanam Mahatmanam Dishtavati Asi Sushroni Hariradbhuta Karmanaha Mahatmyam Brityanam Nisprihanam Mahatmanam. Shri Rudra Uvacha. Lord Śiva said, Drishtavati Asi, have you seen Sushroni, oh beautiful Pārvatī, Hare of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adbhuta Karmanaha, whose acts are wonderful, Mahatmyam, the greatness, Brityanam, of the servants, Nisprihanam, who are without ambitions for sense gratification, Mahatmanam, great souls. Translation. Lord Śiva said, my dear beautiful Pārvatī, have you seen the greatness of the Vaiṣṇavas? Being servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, they are great souls and are not interested in any kind of material happiness. Purport. Lord Śiva, the husband of Pārvatī, told his wife, my dear Pārvatī, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Certainly you are glorious. But I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of devotees who have become servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, Lord Śiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way, for others cannot speak like that. The Supreme Lord, Śiva continued, is always exalted in his activities, and it is another example of his wonderful influence upon King Chitraketu, his devotee. Like it. Just see, although you cursed the king, he was not at all afraid or sorry. Rather, he offered respect to you, called you mother, and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. He did not say anything in retaliation. This is the excellence of a devotee. by mildly tolerating your curse, he has certainly excelled the glory of your beauty and your power to curse him. I can impartially judge that this devotee, Chitraketu, has defeated you and your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarurapi Sahishnuna, just like a tree, devotee can tolerate all kinds of curses and reversals in life. This is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Śiva forbade Pārvatī to commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, had excelled her power by his tolerance. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer my humble respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, Lord Śiva, being the guru of his wife, naturally, he is instructing her that definitely you are very beautiful, undoubtedly, and you have a lot of power in you, excellent power. Prabhupada said she can create universes. Durga is so powerful. And like that. But this pure devotee Chitraketu, today he defeated you by his attitude. Humbleness, tolerance are the ornaments of Vaiṣṇavas. Titikshava karunika suridam sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadava sadhu bhushanam. That sadhus, Vaiṣṇavas, are naturally titikshava, very tolerant, karunika, very merciful. Ajata shatrava, they don't consider anybody their enemy. Shanta, they're always peaceful. They're peaceful because they have no desire for material sense enjoyment, so they are peaceful. Those who have too much material desire, they are always in anxiety to get what they need, what they want. They have to struggle all the time, you know. But those who have those desire, they are peaceful, naturally peaceful. Shanta, it's a natural condition of a devotee. So, when Shastras speak of Vaiṣṇava, generally they refer to pure Vaiṣṇavas, who have no material desire. That's the natural condition of the soul, to be a pure devotee. But those devotees who are still struggling, they are aspiring to be Vaiṣṇavas one day. We are aspiring to be like that one day. So it's very important lesson here in this amazing pastime of Chitraketu being cursed by Pārvatī. And Lord Śiva is instructing his wife about it. That very nicely Prabhupada paraphrasing everything that Lord Śiva said in details in the purport. I mean, if was any other devotee, not on the level of Chitraketu, he would have protested, you know. He have said, why you cursed me? I didn't do anything wrong. Why you being so harsh to me? You are such a great personality and you're cursing an innocent person. This is unfair. Śiva, please help me, you know. But that didn't happen. That will be the normal for any of us to react like that. Once a devotee asked me, well, it is said that we should be tolerant. But what about if I can't be tolerant? Don't be tolerant then. If you can't do it, don't be artificial. It's not something like, I'm tolerant, but inside of me I want to kill the person. That's not tolerance. You're fooling yourself. Yes, you're trying to show off that you are advanced devotee when you're not. So it's not a question of artificially trying to be tolerant, humble, all this. I mean, Japataka Maharaj himself told me that he was a new devotee in Toronto, Canada, and in front of Prabhupada he said very loudly, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. And Prabhupada told him, you are not the most anything. So we can't like artificially try to pose as very humble, very advanced. It doesn't work that way. It's not an artificial thing to do. It comes naturally when there is purity in the heart. It comes out naturally. No? No? When Srivas Thakur was being attacked by those who are atheists, miscreants, although they pose themselves as great Hindus, great Brahmanas, but they were against him because his house was the center of all the Harinam Sankirtan movement. So they were very angry at him that he was spoiling their income, because they get in doing all kind of demigod puja and they get a lot of money from that. So now the preaching was, just chant Hare Krishna is enough. You don't need to do all this demigod worship and all this. So they were very angry at him. So one day they put in front of the door of his house paraphernalia of worshiping Durga. And that included wine and meat and all kind of things that's supposed to be offered. So when he saw all that, he said, just see, I became a Durga worshipper now. Please don't come to my house, now I am very fallen. Don't do that. He didn't like try to defend himself or anything like that, you know. I heard about another great Vaiṣṇava. So many people come to him to disturb him, asking for material blessings, you know, all day. So he decided to do something about it. He smeared in front of the door of his house a lot of fish bones, you know, and put a young girl to sweep in front of his house, sweeping. So when people came, oh, he's eating fish and having a girlfriend. We don't come here anymore. And he was happy. He didn't care about prestige or fame or unfame, whatever. He didn't care about that. He wanted to worship Krishna peacefully. So for a devotee, being cursed or blessed, but it's the same. Why? Because he will keep doing what he's doing. Eternal servant of Krishna, servant of the servant of the servant. He doesn't change his mentality or attitude just because somebody criticized him or defamed him, even killed him. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days. He could have counteracted that curse, but he didn't do it. He understood, oh, this must be the will of the Lord. So how to know when is the will of the Lord and when it is not? That's the question. No? I remember once a devotee asked me, is everything an arrangement of Krishna? I said, no. Could be also this arrangement of Maya. If something makes you forget Krishna, then that's Maya's disarrangement. But of course, for a pure devotee, any reverse in life is an opportunity to take more shelter of Krishna, not to give up Krishna. When neophyte devotees are having difficulties in their life, they tend to lose faith. Why Krishna is doing this to me? I hear devotees speaking like that sometimes. Why Krishna is doing this to me? And who are you for Krishna to do anything for you? We don't have a personal relationship in the neophyte stage a personal relationship with Krishna yet. Only those who are very advanced, they can have a personal relationship with Krishna, like that, no? For example, when Prabhupada's business was stolen, everything, you know, all the valuable equipment, laboratory for manufacturing medicine was stolen, he took it as Krishna's mercy. And he went to consult with his godbrother, Sridhar Maharaj, that there is a verse in Shastra where Krishna say, when I favor my devotee who still have some material attachment, I take away that attachment. So he consulted with his godbrother, and his godbrother said, yes, definitely it's applicable to you. Because what Prabhupada did, he took Vanaprastha, went to Vrindavan, retired, left the business to his sons to take over, and he just retired, like that. Of course, the wife helped him in that, in the sense that he was tolerating the fact that he will invite people to read Bhagavatam and discuss it, to give class, but she will not come out. She will stay in the room hearing the radio, because was no TV at that time yet. Drinking tea and cookies. Prabhupada was tolerating that. And she was a devotee. She had deities. She worshipped the deities and everything. But she had this, inclination. So Prabhupada was tolerating. But one day she exchanged his Bhagavatam for tea and cookies, and that Prabhupada could not tolerate that. Then he told her, you have to choose between your tea and cookies or me. And she thought he was joking. Okay, I will keep the tea and cookies then. And that was okay, she gave permission. Now I can leave. Of course, their children were grown-up men. They were defending themselves, So anyway, but generally speaking, when neophyte devotees, they got in some financial difficulty or any kind of difficulty, health, whatever, they start to have doubts. Why Krishna is not protecting me? Why Krishna is not doing this for me? And who are we to expect anything from Krishna? What level of advancement do we have? If we were really advanced, we will not speak like that. Remember the verse in the 10th canto spoken by Lord Brahma. Tatte nukam shamshu shamikshama bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridbhagma dhuri vidadan namaste jivete yomukti pade satayabak. That a real devotee, he see all the problems, difficulty, suffering, whatever, as Krishna's mercy. In the sense that devotee think, because of my past misdeed, I deserve to suffer even more. But since I'm trying to be Krishna conscious, trying to serve the Lord, Krishna is diminishing what I actually deserve. So I'm grateful. He doesn't lose his Krishna consciousness, rather increase it. He keep chanting, keep serving the Lord, serving the devotees. He never stopped doing his duty. Because love is there. You can't serve somebody nicely if you don't love the person. No? So the whole idea of Krishna consciousness is to awaken our love for Krishna, isn't it? That's why we're here. We're trying to. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, how can I please you? Prabhupada said, love Krishna. And love means service. Without material motivation, without a material aspiration, or even desire for liberation even. So this process is difficult in the sense that one has to make the decision to give up material sense gratification. That's the main thing of Krishna consciousness. Unless one learns how to control the mind, the senses, one cannot make spiritual advancement. That's a fact. It's like trying to lighten a fire and then pour water in it and then try to dry it and light it again. How long is it going to take you to have a fire? So the same way, we have to make the decision, that's it, for good. No way back, you know. In the Bhagavad Gita, it said that there are 3 doors to hell: lust, greed, and anger. And when she locked the door and throw away the key. And don't go after some time looking for the key, where it is, where did I throw it? No, what is, it's gone is gone, forget it. We have to get out of the mental platform about thinking of the past. No, if I would have done this, maybe I could have that or this, or I haven't lost this or that. Mental platform. Bhakti Thakur said, the past is sleeping, forget it. Sleep means dream, dream is unreal. Suppose a man is having a nightmare, a tiger is chasing after him, and his crazy friend entered the room, and he hears his friend crying in his dream, a tiger is after me. And his crazy friend thinks, oh, I'm going to sleep next to him, enter this dream and kill the tiger. Isn't that a crazy idea? There is no tiger, wake up. So that's the role of devotees, to wake up people. There is no tiger, you are having a nightmare. You are not going to die, you are an eternal soul. Why you're suffering? Because you forgot Krishna. Come, chant Hare Krishna, read the books, become a devotee. That will free you from all fear and anxiety. So this is the propaganda of the Krishna conscious movement. It's offered in the world, but who is ready to accept it? That's the thing. It's the easiest thing and the most difficult thing at the same time. It's easier when one is willing. But if there is no will, then no matter how you try to convince the person, or it doesn't work, because the person doesn't want to. That's why Prabhupada preached without attachment to the result. It's up to you. Here is the philosophy, here is my explanation. It's up to you to accept or not. The same thing Krishna did with Arjuna. So I explained to you everything, now you make your decision. So Krishna does respect our free will. He doesn't interfere in our free will. Why is that? I remember, was a story in Los Angeles that I think was Karandar left the movement, and Prabhupada asked why he left. And one devotee told Prabhupada because he said that why Krishna gave us free will if he knew that we were going to misuse it. And Prabhupada said, what, he wants to be a robot, no willpower, an automat, you know. No, it doesn't have sense. If you have free will, of course you can choose the wrong thing, but it's not Krishna's fault. Krishna is known as Sambhutim, totally, completely independent. Being part of him, we have a small, minute independence. And when we misuse it, of course, we will suffer. It's that simple. But it's not because Krishna gave us free will. It's eternally we have free will because eternally we are part of him. It's part of our nature. You can't take away something. You can't take away from fire, heat, and light because it's nature. Then it is not fire anymore. So the same way, being a spirit soul, it is in us to have a little independence, free will. And that's why we need continuously to read, to hear the philosophy once and again and again. Sometimes what they say, oh, it is too repetitive. Yes, we need to repeat and repeat again and again. So it gets stuck in our mind. That is true. It's not a fantasy, it is real. Krishna consciousness is the eternal life of bliss and knowledge, and can be achieved in this human form of life. So why don't take it seriously? Why don't just make the decision, I want to surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada was speaking with a young man, and the young man was saying, well, I know my feelings are wrong, but what shall I do where I should surrender? Prabhupada told him, first of all, you have to understand that you always have to bow down to something. You have to bow down to death, to old age, to disease, to this problem, that problem. All the time you have to bow down. Now, since you can't stop from bowing down, you must try to find where you can bow down that makes you happy. Since you have to bow down no matter what. So that's intelligence. That's intelligent because we are, our nature is to, to serve. When we are not serving Krishna, we serve the material body, the senses, the mind, the demands of the mind. And that's a slavery, that's actual slavery. But in the Western world, they are being taught that don't be slavish, don't be slave to anyone, Be your own master, do whatever you like. Why to have Guru, why to have God? Do your own thing, Like, I remember when I was, before coming to the movement, I was practicing yoga. I read one book by one philosopher called Krishnamurti. So maybe you have heard about him. And in the book he was saying, you don't need to have Guru, be your own Guru. And I thought, this guy, he's posing as Guru and telling me I don't need Guru, so I don't read this book anymore. I don't need him. A full contradiction, complete contradiction. So the world is full of so many mental speculators posing as great philosophers, and they are bewildered and bewildering others too along with them. And this goes and on and on. Prabhupada said that's the greatest challenge the movement have. So many speculators around propagating their wrong ideas, and we have to fight against all of this to establish the purity of Krishna consciousness. It's not a small task, it's a big challenge. It's a great challenge. Prabhupada said at the beginning when I came to America, sometimes I didn't know how to answer some difficult questions. But then Krishna started giving me the intelligence, I could answer all these questions. And now, if we are really Krishna conscious, we can challenge the greatest scientist, the greatest philosopher, because Krishna is giving us the intelligence through his teaching, through his book, and also in the heart. He gives the intelligence, I remember once I was giving a lecture in Mexico City, and I was explaining that God is unlimited and we are limited, So one man asked the question, the challenging question. He said, okay, you are saying that God is unlimited and we are limited. Yes, correct. Then why you are wasting our time here? Say, why you say so? It's because if we, being limited, could understand God, then he stopped being unlimited. And all of people there agree, yes, he's right. And I say, yes, you are right, but if God, being unlimited, can't reveal himself to those who are limited, us, then he also stopped being unlimited. And everybody applauded. So, our process is God revelation. God revealed himself to his pure devotees. So we are getting all the spiritual realization through Krishna's pure devotees, through Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara. That's how we are getting the realization. We can't get it just by ourselves. By ourselves, we can't reach more beyond the Brahman, impersonal idea of God. I remember I was impersonalist before coming to Krishna consciousness. I was practicing yoga. God is everywhere, everything is God, I am God. Everything is one, But when I read Sri Upanishad, Prabhupada smashed all my wrong ideas. I thought, Krishna, thank you for sending me your pure devotee to guide me. I accepted Prabhupada in my heart as my guru at that moment, you know. But I mean, Krishna put me to test, you know, because I was not living in the temple yet, but I was thinking about it. And I went to a lonely beach to have a spiritual, retreat by myself. Took a tent and was chanting japa, just, taking fruit and coconut water, nothing else. For 2 weeks, chanting all day, reading the book, And after 2 weeks, Maya came to entice me, to bewilder me. A very close friend of mine arrived at the beach with 2 beautiful girls. And when he saw me, oh, my good friend, it's great you are here. And you have this big tent. We can fit the 4 of us in there. And see, I brought marijuana with me, Mary Jane. We're going to have a great time. And of course, after chanting for 2 weeks and reading, I was ready by Krishna's mercy. I told him a lie. I said, my dear friend, I'm very sorry to tell you, but this tent doesn't belong to me. I have to return it today. I promised to return it today. I can't go back on my word. I'm sorry. No, call the guy, tell him something, No, I have to leave. I start dismantle all the tent. And the friend was looking at me, did you become crazy or what? There's a great opportunity to enjoy. I'm sorry, I have to leave. Run away from the spot, And I was a young man, 20 years old. I wasn't like old man or anything. And young girls, all this. And Krishna gave reciprocation. After that incident, I was chanting japa. I could chant like for 8 hours. And I felt so much bliss and happiness. I made up my mind, this is it. This is what I was looking for, real spiritual experience. So that's what made me decide to, next day, go to the temple, surrender, become a monk, brahmachari. So we need this experience. But we have to be patient, enthusiastic, and endeavor with confidence. It can be done. It is possible. Others have done it. Why we are? That's what I thought. I thought, wow, devotee living such a simple life, why I can do it also? If they can do it, I also can do it. They're human like me. If they could do it, they're young as me. So if they can do it, why not me? It's a challenge, So I asked the devotee, what do I have to do to join, to live in the temple? So you have to follow this 4 regulative principles. But I've been following that for almost 2 years. And they told me, what are you doing outside? Come in. But don't waste your time, come in. So, I mean to say, it's a great adventure. It's a great challenge. It's very exciting. Krishna consciousness, we should always remember that the best thing that happened in our life is to come to Krishna consciousness, to become devotee. That's the best thing that could happen in all our life. All our lives. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Yes?
Thank you, Maharaj, for a nice class. Just a quick question. You mentioned about chanting for 8 hours.
Yes.
Done when you were 20 years old. Do you have an opportunity and a chance to chant for 8 hours now in your life? And if so, how is that experience?
Actually, it's not only the time, but the quality. If somebody chanting 64 rounds, but he's distracted all the way, you say, oh, I'm chanting 60 rounds, but if your mind goes all day around everywhere, to say, it's not just a question of quantity, but also the quality. If you can chant 16 rounds very, very nicely, fully concentrated, that's good enough, if you have other duties to do. I mean, Prabhupada when came to America, he asked the first devotee to chant 64 rounds. That takes like 8 hours. And the devotee tried. They said, Prabhupada, not possible. We have to stop everything else. Prabhupada said, okay, try 32. Right. They tried 32. They came, Prabhupada, not possible. And that's how Prabhupada established minimum 16 rounds. Understand? If you have nothing, Prabhupada said 16 is the minimum. If you have the time, chant more. But if you are busy serving Krishna, preaching, then, you chant at least 16 minimum.
But at the same time, if you want to chant 64 rounds, you can't just do them poorly. How can you chant 64 rounds poorly? You have to have a taste to chant so many rounds.
Yeah, of course. You can't do it artificially. Yeah, definitely not, Definitely you have to have a desire to do it. And yes.
Srila Prabhupada established with great effort, the places of pilgrimage like Mayapur and the festivals and things. And those are opportunities usually where you can chant more rounds.
Yes.
Your regular routine is different, and it's meant for more meditation. I remember we used to have these japa retreats, in America. They started by Satchidananda Swami, and one of the days, it was like a week, 4 or 5 days, and one of the days, the last day, was everyone going to try to chant 64 rounds, And I remember trying that, and going on and on and on, and eventually I came up with this idea of praying to the name, through the name, to not be distracted and to be able to chant, like that.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience.
Definitely.
So it's like, create a time. Okay, we're going to have a retreat now. We're going to establish this, and then now is the time. Then you can, do that, like that.
Thank you for sharing. Very nice. Very good. Thank you very much. Yes, you have a question? Please pass in the mic.
So I just wanted to ask, thank you for the class, Prabhu, it's wonderful, always. There was, isn't there like some pastimes where there's some advanced Vaishnavas that curse certain individuals? But that's like, because you mentioned, the concept of cursing someone, and then like if they were, transcendental, if they were true transcendentalists, they wouldn't have those emotions to want to curse somebody, right? But
yeah, it may happen sometimes. I mean, generally doesn't happen, but sometimes does happen. For example, Durvasa Muni, he cursed one king killed Indradyumna to become an elephant. So, and became...
Can we say Pārvatī is not a Vaiṣṇava?
Of course she's a Vaishnava, undoubtedly. But she got angry because she's very, naturally she's very attached to her husband. And she thought that the husband was not dealt with fairly, so not of her personally, but that's another thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say we have to be tolerant, but if another Vaishnava is being offended, you should not be tolerant. You should react immediately. You shall say something, try to defeat or leave the place. So Pārvatī, in her simplicity, in his purity, she's a pure devotee. She thought that her husband was being unfairly criticized. So that's why she reacted. But here, Lord Shiva was telling her that she was wrong to curse a devotee like Chitraketu. I mean, unwillingly she made a mistake. And Chitraketu also made a little mistake by playing jokes on Śiva. A little mistake. That was not an offense, but was not really proper completely, But Śiva didn't take it seriously. The sages present there didn't take it seriously because it's an house joke, between liberated souls. You don't take sides, like I said the other day. If two great Vaishnava having different opinion, you don't take side. You may commit offense against one of them, so better keep yourself aloof, you know.
Yeah, I think there's also the concept, and you might be touching on this, that where pure devotees are kind of, the way that they, I guess, the actions that they take may not be very understandable by like some of the, less advanced conscious
That's
people.
right,
Yeah.
that's right. There is another instance, for example, Kaliya in his past life, he was a great sage. And he went to meditate in the Himalayas hill. He was a devotee of Lord Vishnu, and he went to meditate there. And he entered the ashram of another sage, and the other sage became angry. There are so many places to meditate, why you have to come to my ashram? And the other said, since when I thought this is all property of Mahavishnu, and you're claiming that this is your property now? And you're showing your tongue at me angry? Become a snake. He cursed him, and he became Kaliya next life, But Lord Vishnu came, they cursed each other, then the other cursed him to become a crow, Yeah? And both of them regretted cursing each other. They were, very much ashamed, and they let themselves be carried by anger. So they were really remorseful. Then Lord Vishnu came. He said, you are my dear devotees, you are like my two arms. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. You, although be born as Kaliya, I will dance on your hoods. You will get my blessings. And you, although become a crow, you will not forget your devotion to me or your knowledge of me. You will not forget that. So that was blessing. Sometimes happen, these things,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj,
Yes,
I have a question.
Vijay, go ahead.
Yes, Maharaj, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna chants to Arjuna, and you know this better than me, that as soon as we experience the higher taste, we become fixed in consciousness. My question is, what is this consciousness? What type of consciousness is this?
Pure Krishna consciousness. Pure Krishna consciousness means one is fixed in the conviction, by serving Krishna I can achieve the greatest, the highest spiritual result. There is nothing better than that. That kind of conviction is called nishtha. Fixed determination, fixed faith. That kind of determination we need to advance in a spiritual life.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi, Haribol.